Well, for the first time ever, an ALS nonprofit is using artificial intelligence and other technologies in partnership with healthcare companies to find a way to diagnose ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and other neurological diseases faster. Joining us now with how they're doing just that is Indu Navar. She is the founder of EverythingALS. And Indu, first of all, thank you so much for being here with us. I am absolutely fascinated by your story. And I wanted to start with how this kind of drew you in, because you and your husband both worked in the technology sector. He was diagnosed with ALS.
Correct.
And that kind of led you to this path. You lost him, though, in 2019. So tell me about him.
Yes, he was very early at Amazon. He was one of the founding team of Amazon Cloud, and I've been a tech entrepreneur pretty much all my life. And when he had early symptoms of neurological disease, and when we kept hearing from the physicians, let's wait and see, it's like saying the kitchen is under fire, but let's wait and see if it's going to burn down the house before we react. Just as, you know, technologists, where we are entrepreneurs, we've solved a lot of issues, or, you know, we bring a lot of technologies to market. We were shocked about how backwards we are where it matters the most: health.
Right, because he was not able to get a diagnosis for how long? For
over 2 years.
And during those 2 years, damage is being done.
Absolutely. So today we actually diagnose at the stage 4 equivalent of cancer. More like 70 to 80% of damage is already done, and that's when we diagnose, because we're about 50 years behind in really bringing technology to early diagnosis and also for treatments, because everything starts from that. You know, when people are so late in diagnosis, we don't have much time. So he really had less than 2 years after that lifespan.
So, you know, obviously that affected you greatly, losing someone that you loved so dearly and watching them go through this.
Yes.
So being a person from kind of a technology sector perspective, what is it that you decided to do, and you know, what is your goal with this organization?
Yeah, so, you know, I would take his video every day. I would, like, because the questions were, how is your walking from 0 to 4? Or how is your speaking from 0 to 4? As an engineer, how would I know what is a 2 or a 1 or 0 is? I don't have a path to knowing when I'm going to lose my speech or when am I going to lose my walking. I don't know what scale it is, but that's what is gold standard today. That's what we use for bringing treatments to market or for diagnosing. So, which shocked me.
So it's just not specific at all. It's really kind of...
They're asking you as a patient, subjective. Like me coming and saying, hey, what do you think your diabetes A1C level is? What's your BP? I'm not going to ever check it. It's like that today. It's like they're asking us to actually tell us how we are feeling about it, and that's what is the gold standard.
So you found the idea of getting more specific and getting more data-driven to be something that might be able to help forward this.
Exactly. And we have sensors. We use sensors in our everyday life, right? But those things have not made into market in health or in neurological diseases, where for early diagnosis or for progression tracking. So we're looking at sensors. We actually look at sensors that's available in the market already, and we collect the data with the patients. So we've created a patient advocacy group, and we directly you know, recruit patients directly from our social media. And so that way we could get over 1,000 people in less than 18 months, as opposed to usual studies are done with 50 people over 2 years. Right,
so it's really, we were talking about this. So the organization's called EverythingALS.
Correct.
And you've got 2 research studies kind of happening right now. What I thought was fascinating is someone might think, okay, well, that's only for people who have ALS or think they might have ALS or perhaps have it in their families, but you're kind of casting a wider net than that to kind of crowdsource answers. Tell me a little bit about these research projects and how people who are watching, even if they are a person that hasn't had ALS in their family, might be able to help those who do.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 ways. One is just participating in the research. So in our research, when we do speech, we want people with ALS and also people who don't have ALS, either even in their family or not even, you know, because we call them controlled. So we want to know people without ALS, how is their normal speech? How do they, we call it longitudinal data. That is, we ask people to come in once a month and kind of do this 5 to 10 minute exercise. So we can actually see how people without ALS progress or their normal aging with ALS. So we need to have the control data. So people can help there. And also the other thing where we do is we crowdsource analysis. So we actually bring in, we do challenges, we actually share the data. It's open data. So we share the data with the wider population so we can actually find the answers faster.
And so that's a big deal because a lot of organizations might be also doing research, right? So you're saying we're going to open source this, we're going to invite you in to kind of take a look at what we've got so that we can help push things forward.
Exactly.
That's very cool. So if people are watching right now and they want to get involved, you're saying they could just go on your website, which we're going to have a link to on our website, by the way,
right.
and they can participate, even if they have no ALS history in their family, but they want to help.
Right. So it's everythingals.org/research. And if somebody has got ALS, please come in and participate because we have a community and we are very engaging. We meet once a week with other ALS patients. We have about 5,000 families today who work very, very closely with us.
And you guys are also involved in kind of helping them with their journey, right?
Exactly. It's very important. So Everything ALS, the motto is care to cure. If you don't care about the patients, we'll never come up with a cure. And because the patients are the biggest researchers, they know what happens every day. And so that's very, very important to get that level of, information. What we felt was when we were going through a journey, which I'm today a researcher, the same person when I was a patient and a caregiver, I was really on the other side of the island.
Right.
I was not integrated. I had no idea what was going on.
Trying to educate yourself as quickly as possible,
yes,
right?
and really they look at patients as, oh, you're patient. But so what we're doing with Everything ALS is integrated model. Patients are our researcher. They're part of the research. They're not they're not in another island. So we're really bringing in patients, AI community, and also pharma community and the neurologists all together to work together. So we really are bringing in this collaborative platform.
What is your hope that the best case scenario is here? Because we have seen in other instances, we were talking about MS and how now people can get a diagnosis much faster. I mean, what do you see as the future of all of this research leading to?
MS is a very good example because it's imaging. We've done a lot of work in imaging, and because in MS we can find it in the image, that's one of the reasons why it's a little bit faster. But in ALS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, we don't have imaging, and but we have a lot of physiological data.
Right.
That is, speech starts changing, how you move starts changing, how you think starts changing, and how you breathe starts changing. And we're taking all of that data and really doing what imaging is done, so we can actually analyze with the same technology using AI and machine learning, kind of start seeing what are the changes in the speech, what are the changes in breathing, and also how you move. And I hear a lot of people saying, I forgot these things. Do you think there's something wrong in my cognition?
Right.
Those are the things we need to know. There's some things you don't have to worry about. Some things we should go and look at it as early as possible.
Right.
So that's our goal, is to look at all of the physiological changes that's happening through sensors.
Well, thank you for the work that you're doing. I know a lot of people out there that's going to give them a lot of hope, and I know your husband will be very proud of the work that you're doing. So good for you for doing it for you and also for everybody out there who needs the help.
Yeah,
so.
I want him to be remembered as somebody who helped fix the disease, not as somebody who passed away from the disease.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.